I'm Craig.
And my name's Martin.
Thank you for registering for TrekFest and thank you for taking the time to watch this webinar. We're here to provide you with key information that you need to complete your challenge and importantly, enable you to have a fantastic time.
We're going to cover how to navigate the participant area of the website, what to expect when you arrive at the event village, the timings for the event. We're going to share with you the route information and the routes you'll be taking. What support will you receive whilst on the route? We're going to give you some advice on recommended kit and advice on training for the event. And at the end, we're going to have a live Q&A session.
If you do have any questions during the webinar, please email them to info@trekfest.org.uk and we'll answer your questions at the end of the presentation. The participant area contains everything you need to know about TrekFest. It's updated regularly, so make sure you log in periodically to check for the latest information. Once you've logged in, use the tabs at the top of the page to navigate and access the TrekFest Trekker Guide, which contains an overview of the event and what's expected of each participant, information on kit selection, and the all-important TrekFest kit list. Please ensure you have read this document well in advance of the event. In the same location, you can also access the TrekFest Training Guide. It contains useful training tips and suggested training plans. If you haven't started already, now's a good time to start training. The Challenge Information tab contains specific information for your challenge location, and information will be added to this in the next few weeks, including camping information, details of the routes in PDF and GPX format, and details of how to find the event village location. The Update Your Details tab, located in the top right-hand corner, must be visited prior to the event if you didn't provide all of your own or your team's personal details at registration, or if any of your personal details have changed. To access and update your personal details, click on the appropriate registration form and select View or Change Existing Registration. Log in using your email address and password and update the necessary details. Prior to the event, we need an up-to-date mobile number for each participant that's taking part, and we also need up-to-date medical and next of kin information. Please ensure that you update these details as soon as possible, as prior to the event, the system will be shut down to enable us to collate the information prior to registration.
The event village is located at the Brecon Show Field. Car parking is available here and you'll be directed by a member of our event crew as to where to park. The event village is open from 6:30 on Friday evening and 7 o'clock on Saturday morning. Upon arrival, follow directions to event registration. This is open between 6:30 and 8 on Friday evening and 7 and 8 on Saturday morning. Unfortunately, registration is only available during these times. Camping is available but must be pre-booked. Payment is on arrival. The cost is £9 per person for the weekend. Food can be purchased in the food court. A barbecue on Friday night at £10 per person and a pre-event breakfast on Saturday morning. Prices range from about £3. We will set off each route between 9 AM and 10 AM on Saturday morning. Due to the amount of people taking part in TrekFest, we will need to enforce staggered start times to avoid congestion along the trail. You will be informed of your start time at event registration. There will be a 15-minute call before the start time of each route to ensure that you are ready. There will also be a 5-minute briefing before the start of each route to cover some final safety reminders. Participants will be greeted by a welcoming finish when they cross the line. Medals will be awarded to those who take on the TrekFest challenge. There will be a photographer taking your finish photo, plus your finish time will be recorded. There will also be a hot meal waiting for trekkers when you cross the finish line. If you have any friends and family coming to the TrekFest event to cheer you on, please see the challenge information document in the Challenge Information tab in the participant area. This will be added in the next few weeks.
The 25-kilometre route will leave the event village in a different direction to the 50, 75 and 100-kilometre routes. The route will follow quiet country roads to a checkpoint before then ascending and summiting Pen y Fan. The route will descend under Corndhu to a water stop, and from this point follow the Taff Trail back to the event village. En route, 25-kilometre participants will go through one checkpoint and one water stop and receive a hot meal on the finish. Based on walking at approximately 4 kilometres an hour, participants can expect to finish at around 4 p.m. on Saturday. The 50-kilometre route will leave the event village and join the Taff Trail that follows the Monmouthshire and Brecon Canal. After checkpoint 1 in Talibont, the route will continue on the Taff Trail to Taff Fechan Forest for the hot food stop. The route will ascend Fanny Big and then summit Pen y Fan, where it will then descend under Corndhu into checkpoint 3. The route from checkpoint 3 will continue along the Taff Trail to the event village. Participants on the 50-kilometre route will pass through 3 checkpoints and receive 1 hot meal stop en route, as well as a hot meal at the finish. Based on a walking speed of approximately 4 kilometres an hour, participants can expect to finish at approximately 11 p.m. on Saturday. The 75-kilometre route is the same as the 50-kilometre route up until checkpoint 3. The route then heads towards Garnant Forest along the Taff Trail, where checkpoint 4 is located. The route then heads through Merthyr Tydfil before heading back to Taff Fechan Forest for checkpoint 5 and a hot snack. The route then heads back over Fanny Big before heading to the event village. Participants on the 75-kilometre route will pass through 5 checkpoints. They will get 1 hot meal stop at checkpoint 2 and a hot snack at checkpoint 5, followed by a hot meal at the finish. Based on a walking speed of approximately 4 kilometres per hour, participants on the 75-kilometre route can expect to finish at around 6 a.m. on Sunday morning. The 100-kilometre route is the same as the 75-kilometre until checkpoint 5 for the hot food stop. The route then heads back along the canal towards Talibont and checkpoint 6. After checkpoint 6, the route continues along the canal and through Llanfrynach. The route then returns to the event village along the Three Rivers Ride path. Participants on the 100-kilometre route will pass through 7 checkpoints. They'll receive 1 hot meal at checkpoint 2 and 1 hot meal at checkpoint 5, followed by a hot meal at the finish. Based on a walking speed of approximately 4 kilometres per hour, you can expect to finish at approximately 12:30 on Sunday.
For reasons outside of our control, routes may need to change at short notice up until the date of the event. This may be due to footpath closures, safety, or inclement weather. Any route changes will be communicated to you prior to the event or at the event village and during the event briefing. Any route changes may lead to checkpoint location changes and/or a reduction in mileage.
Checkpoints are located approximately every 7 kilometres to 16 kilometres and have strict open and close times which are published in the route guide. Each participant will have to officially check in, and participants cannot proceed from a checkpoint on their own for safety reasons. If you are an individual, then you will need to join another individual in order to leave a checkpoint. If you are a member of a team, then your team can continue as long as there is 2 team members. Any less than this, and you will need to join another individual or team in order to be able to continue. Checkpoints will have refreshments available, such as water, cordial, snack bars and fruit, and we will endeavour to provide toilets at each checkpoint. Please do bear in mind that due to the locations of the checkpoints, this isn't always possible. Designated first aiders will be available at every checkpoint also.
You must maintain a minimum average speed of 4 kilometers per hour throughout the event. This will ensure that you make it through the checkpoints before the closure times. The opening and closing times of the checkpoints are based on participants walking between 4 kilometers and 6 kilometers per hour.
If you miss the closing time of one checkpoint, you may not be permitted to continue, as you may be unable to reach the next checkpoint before it is due to close. Apart from in the case of an emergency, if you need to retire from the event, this has to be done at a checkpoint. If you do retire, you must notify the checkpoint crew or the event manager immediately to prevent an unnecessary search and rescue and us contacting the emergency services. A transfer service is available from Checkpoint 4 for 75k and 100k participants. Prior to this point, you must have someone who can collect you from the checkpoint at which you retire.
For your safety, at event registration, you will be issued with the emergency procedures information, which will be on the back of your route guide and also on your armband. The armband must be kept on you and visible at all times. There are walking marshals located at strategic locations along the route, and sweep walkers will follow at the rear of the group. First aid is available at checkpoints. However, walking marshals and sweep walkers are first aid qualified and will carry first aid kits with them. Oh, hi. Yeah, we thought we'd come outside to do the section on kit that you'll be needing for the TrekFest event. All the information that you need is contained in the Trekker guide, which you can find on the participant area of the website. At the back of the guide, there's the TrekFest kit list. Please carry all of the equipment that's on the kit list, as the majority of it is safety critical. I'm wearing most of the equipment I'd be wearing on a day like today. And I start off at the bottom with a nice sturdy pair of walking boots with a bit of ankle support. Walking trousers. These need to be of a man-made fibre. Please don't wear jeans or anything that's cotton based, as they will just get soaking wet and restrict your movement. We use the layering system when we're walking in the outdoors, and the bottom layer is called your base layer. Now this has to be made of a wicking material that keeps the surface of your skin nice and dry. There's a great souvenir for the event. It's the TrekFest t-shirt. It's a superb souvenir, and it's also made of exactly the right material. The next layer up is your mid layer. This is a sort of a slightly heavier weight than your base layer. It's called your mid layer fleece, and that will keep you nice and warm on the majority of the days. But also inside your rucksack, you need to carry an outer fleece. This is slightly more substantial. This one's windproof, so it'll keep the wind out, but it's not waterproof. But that'll keep me nice and warm if the temperature drops a little bit. If it does rain while you're out in the hills, you'll need your waterproof trousers and also a waterproof coat. If it gets really cold, these can be just worn as an extra insulation layer, and if it rains, they'll keep you nice and dry. When you're out in the British countryside, you can get 4 seasons in a day, and for that reason, you have to carry a nice warm hat and a pair of warm gloves, just when the temperature really starts to drop. If we're lucky enough on the day to get nice sunny weather, you'll need a wide brim sun hat. Yeah, that'll keep the sun off you, stop you getting sunburnt, and stop the effects of heat and heat exhaustion and sunstroke. Use that in conjunction with your suntan screen. I just carry a small amount inside my first aid kit. Your first aid kit should carry all the equipment, all the stuff that you'll need. There's details on the kit list of the essential items, but blister plasters and antiseptic creams and ordinary sticking plasters are a must in here. I can carry my personal medication and any painkillers and things like that in a small pouch that's ready to hand in the top of my rucksack, and it's separate from my first aid kit. Whilst you're en route, you'll be following the route that's contained in your route guide. This is printed on waterproof paper, and so if it does rain, it won't get horrible and soggy, and you'll still be able to read the map and find out where you're going. There are descriptions of the route inside, along with a few shots of last year's events. You'll also need the maps for the area, maps OL12 and OL13, the Ordnance Survey maps. I keep mine in a waterproof map case because these aren't waterproof, and I've got my compass for when I need to use the map in bad visibility. For the trekkers who are doing the 100-kilometre route, you will need both maps. For the 3 shorter routes of 25, 50 and 75 kilometres, you will only need OL12. I'll carry a fully charged mobile phone with me. I keep mine in a nice little waterproof pouch. Please make sure that your phone details that you give us on your next of kin and on your personal information is the number of the mobile phone that you'll be carrying with you on the day. I've got my camera for those souvenir shots, some spare batteries and a memory card because I'm going to take lots and lots of photographs. And to keep me hydrated along the route, I'll be carrying about 2 litres of water. You can use either the plastic bottles like the one you can see here, or if you prefer, you can use the system whereby a bag goes inside your bag and you suck it through a tube. Me personally, I prefer the bottle system. A few nice snacks on the way, anything that takes your fancy, chocolate, energy bars, anything like that. You will be getting fed along the route, but these are just to keep your energy levels up between the checkpoints. For the participants who are doing the longer routes, the 75 and 100k, you will be walking in the hours of darkness. So you need to take with you a head torch and some spare batteries. I've got my sunglasses for when things get really bright out there, when the sun's shining. And all of this goes into a 30 to 35 litre rucksack. Bear in mind though, that no rucksacks are fully waterproof. So line your rucksack with a waterproof liner. I personally just use a heavy duty plastic bag for this. You can see that the equipment's all laid out on a survival bag at the bottom. This is great for when you get in an emergency situation, as they're waterproof and they will keep the wind off you if it's cold. Okay, so I've got all my kit in my rucksack and I'm ready to go. I've got my route guide to use as a point of reference, and I'll be able to follow this along the route and make sure I know where I am along the route. The route is waymarked, and as you can see here, we've got 2 different styles of arrow. The arrow with the fluorescent border is for the sections of the route that you'll be covering in the hours of darkness, and the just plain yellow arrow is the arrow that you'll be following during the day. We hope you have a fantastic time on TrekFest and have a really enjoyable day out and raise lots of money for your chosen charities. I'll see you at the finish. Welcome back. We hope you found the information we gave you useful.
If we could offer one piece of advice that will help you succeed, it would be to thoroughly prepare. That means making sure that you've got the correct kit and you're familiar with it, but also making sure that you've trained enough to complete the challenge you've chosen. These are the 2 key things that previous participants have said really made the difference.
Yeah, we're now going to play you a short photo montage from previous TrekFests, and following that, we're going to go live to your questions. Thanks for watching. We look forward to meeting you at TrekFest. Hi, yeah, we're now live. Thanks for tuning into the TrekFest webinar. We hope you found it useful and informative, and above all, we hope you've enjoyed it. We're going to answer some of the questions we've had come in. We haven't had that many, so if you've got any questions, please get them in on the email address in the next 5 minutes, and we'll do our best to answer them. Any questions that are of a personal nature, or we feel would be better answered with a straight email communication back, we'll do that within the next 48 hours.
So I'll start off with the first couple of questions that we've had. The first one is from Jody, who asks, will camping be available on the Saturday night? And the answer to that question is yes. The camping fee, when you book it, is actually for the entire weekend. So £9 per person for the entire weekend is the cost for camping.
Yeah, we've had one question about the route guide. This is off Topsy Rudd. Hi, Topsy Rudd. Yeah, this is the route guide you'll be given. It is waterproof, as we've said in the webinar, and you'll be given this along with a load of other information at the registration. So when you get to the showground in Brecon, just find the registration tent. We'll give you a registration pack, and this will be in there. There'll be one for each participant.
Next question is one that we've picked up from social media, and that's the question of how long you have to complete each route. In previous years, those people who've done it before will remember that the 54-mile route was to be completed in 24 hours. This year is a little bit different, and there is no set time limit. That being said, obviously we do want people to finish at some point. So with that in mind, there are timings that are in place for each checkpoint to close, and the way that works is that you're expected to reach each checkpoint by a specific time, and if you fail to meet that, that may mean that you're not permitted to continue, on the basis that you will be unable to make that time up, and therefore your anticipated finish time would be way later than when we intend the event to finish. So there's no set time limit, but there is timings in place that do need to be adhered to.
Yeah, we've had a question about the routes. Someone's asked when the route maps will be available that we've showed you on the webinar. If you keep an eye on the participant information page on the TrekFest website, GPS and GPX downloadable format guides for the routes will be available in the next few weeks.
Another question from, I'm just trying to read what that says, Bayer Head. And the question is there a workshop planned nearer the day in the Brecon Beacons? Previously, this sort of webinar format hasn't existed, and we've done an information day, again, that people who are doing this event for the second or third time, or even more than that, would have attended. The webinar is actually a replacement for that, so there is no workshop as such. But all of the information, hopefully, that we provided you with is of an equal level, if not better. And as Martin said, the routes will be going on the participant area, and there's other information to go on there over the coming weeks to help you be able to prepare.
We've had a question from Adrian about asking how many people are currently registered for the 100k distance. Craig, do you know the answer?
I do know the answer to that one, yeah. 100k distance, approximately at this stage, I believe the number to be getting close to the 100 mark. So quite a few registered for the 100k, probably more than we would anticipate, to be honest, with such a difficult event. But there is a large number of people registered for the whole event, as you'd expect.
How many have registered for the entire event?
So the numbers that we'll expect on the ground will be around the 700 mark, similar to last year. Do we have any more questions, folks? Okay, so if we've got no more questions, I guess all that's left to say is thank you very much for watching, and we do hope that you found the webinar useful. As we've said, there'll be information added to the participant area in the next few weeks. That will include the routes in GPX format and PDF format. It'll include the challenge information pack, and it will also include the checkpoint timings, as mentioned, in terms of how long you've got to complete each section. If you do have any more questions, please feel free to contact the office as normal via email or give us a call, and we'll be happy to answer. And just so that you know, or you can pass on to any of your friends or family that haven't had a chance to watch the webinar will be available on YouTube after we've finished. Thank you very much.
Thank you.